Okay, good morning, everyone. We are going to talk about Bradstreet. The setting. She decided to move to New England, now United States, with her family because her father, Thomas Dudley, was named the new governor of the Massachusetts Bay Colony. They got on board on April 8, 1630 on the Arabella boat. Governor John Winthrop landed with the company charter to Massachusetts Bay Colony. Arabella's passengers touched America's soil on June 14, 1630 at Salem Harbor. They landed here. After landing, John Winthrop founded Boston. Immediately, they founded Boston with Cambridge as the capital, but Boston was the seat of the state government. So they founded Boston. Cambridge was the capital, but Boston remained as the seat of the government there, of the Massachusetts Bay Colony. Other towns were founded. Charleston, Roxbury, Dorchester, and Watertown were the first one. Then, after that were founded, they founded another ones like Brighton, West Roxbury, Hyde Park. And the timeline. At 1630, the Massachusetts Bay Colony was founded by John Winthrop as the governor and Thomas Dudley as the duty governor. In 1931, the people of Watertown protested because of a tax. They thought that it was unjust to pay this tax, so they dropped Winthrop as a governor and elect the Bradstreet father. In 1635, King Charles annulled the charter. It means that they were not supposed to be an England colony in the United States because it was annual. But it was issued a writ of quo warranty. And then Sir Ferdinand George is the new ruler of New England. The first public school was established in that year. In 1638, Henry Bain was the new governor and Harvard University was founded. It was founded by Anne Bradstreet and father and husband. And in the same year, and the same year, in 1638, the Puritans established the School of the Prophet. It means that school was going to be the first university that was going to prevent deviations in the proper doctrine. 1641, the body of the Liberties Code was established. What does it mean? It means that they were going to be ruled by this body of liberties, but this code, and not by the big Bible like it was before. Before they live by the precepts of the Bible, but in 1641, this code was the rule of every one of them. In 1646, the instruction for the punishment of incorrigible children in Massachusetts was established. It means that this law was meant to teach parents and children to accept the Puritan as a doctrine. They established this to tell them what they have to do. 1647, all delivered such an act law protect children to the satanism influences that the parents can give them, because they thought that the parents were the guilty ones, that the parents were the ones that influenced the children to bad behaviors. In 1648, they directed a new law again, that everybody has to keep a vigilant eye in the family members and also with the neighbors, so they could watch if they are bad behavior in the family or with the rest of the society. And they have the right to tell the governor, so they will hang them. They will kill them. In 1652, the first coins were minted in English colony. It means that they have the new money. In 1669, William Landor was hanged for practicing Quaker religion. We don't have to forget that they were Puritans, and it was supposed to be that everybody was Puritan. They don't allow another religion. So he was hanged because he practiced another religion. They think that religion was witchcraft. 1660, the colony had become powerful and commonwealth. And after that?
Okay, good morning. We're going to talk about a little bit of Anne Bradstreet's biography. In her personal data, we have Anne Bradstreet was born in Northampton, England in 1612. Well, she never went to school, so she had to learn with his father, who was a wise man, and also she went to the library estate to read some books about different topics, and she also met some new well-known authors. She married Simon Bradstreet. Simon Bradstreet was her father's assistant at the age of 16. She sailed with all her family to New England. The first place where they arrived was Salem, Massachusetts, in the Massachusetts Bay Colony. The first time they get there, it was not a really good way to live, because they don't have the space to share a room with all the members of her family. They all lived in just one house, in just one room. And they continued moving because the primitive conditions of living. And they wanted to improve a better way to live. That's the reason why they always kept moving to another, in the same place, Massachusetts, but in different cities. Well, she had 8 children, and despite her poor health and all the things she had to do at home, demanding housework and raising the children, she also found time to write her poems. All her writing was based on the world around her, her life as a Puritan, as a religious woman, as a wife, and as a mother. Her husband became her inspiration to write some love poems. Because of her husband's job as a colonial governor, he always had to travel to England. He spent many times away from home, and he was always absent. So that's the reason why she always missed him, and she wrote many things about him. Some of her manuscripts were destroyed in a fire. Well, they have a house in the north of Massachusetts, and the house they have there burned. So her daughter-in-law and her grandchildren died. So she wrote something about them, because she loved so much her family. Next, please. Her works were brought to England to be published. But this was thanks to her brother-in-law, who took some of their manuscripts to England, because he read them and he thought it was something really. Despite she didn't have school, she was a very wise and a smart woman. Her first publication was a 10 News Lately Sprung Up in America, which had a lot of critics. She imposed her own style in her subsequent works after the critics. Well, people start criticizing these works because they thought as a Puritan she must write about, she didn't have to write, she had to sew, take care of the children, and just take care of housework, not writing. She died on September 16, 1672 in North Andover, Massachusetts at the age of 60. Well, she was known as an early feminist because she wanted to prove that despite being a Puritan, a religious woman, she wanted to show the rest of the men, the women were valuable, and she wanted to express her feelings in her writings. The achievement we have from this woman is that she was the first poet woman to be published in London, England, with her well-known work, 10 Muse Ladies Grown Up in America, dedicated to her father. Why was the first edition of 10 Muse Ladies Grown Up in America dedicated to her father? Because this 10 Muse Lady was about 4 elements. The 4 elements, wind, water, about the 4 seasons, about many things she read when she was younger. The second edition of 10 Muse Ladies Grown Up in America and some of her later poems, in several poems compiled with great variety of wit and learning full of delight, was the first book published in America. This was dedicated more for her family, her children, and all the persons she met, because she really loved his family, her family. So. Next, please. Okay, now we're going to talk about her major works. We have the first one is the 10 Muse Ladies as Grown Up in America with the first edition. It displays her knowledge of history, philosophy, and current affairs in England and America, just as I said. Upon a fixed sickness, it was written when she was 16. She was exposed into sickness at the time. She also had a poor health. Contemplation. It was about love and desire for eternal life. In this poem, she writes about what she felt with God, and it's almost more religious than other of her works. In honor of the high-minded Princess Queen Elizabeth, it proclaims that women are worth something and women are not inferior to men. She was always had that thought. She was a free thinker. She always thought that women can change the world with her feelings, with all they have to show. Next, please. The Prologue. It was written after all the criticism received about her writing. Well, she was really upset, so she put all her anger in this poem, just because they said that she had to sew and take care of children and not writing. To my dear and loving husband. It was against the idea of Puritans to express more devotion for other humans than God. In this poem, we have a lot of significant expressions she had because she expressed a lot of love for his husband. We're going to explain that one later. The 10 Muse Ladies Grown Up in America second edition, it displays more personal poems about her love for her husband and family. Yeah. Okay, we're going to start with the recit, and I'll start first. So pay attention because we have a workshop and it's about everything I said in my part. So, if ever two were one, then surely we. If ever men were loved by wife, then thee. If ever women was happy in a man, compare with me, ye women, if you can. I prize thy love more than whole mines of gold, or all the riches that the east doth hold.
My love is such that river cannot quench, nor all but love from thee give recompense. Thy love is such that I can no way repay. The heavens reward thee manifold, I pray. Then, while we live in love that so persever, then, when we live more, when we live no more, we may live ever. Now I'm going to explain something about this. Thee, ye, yet, thy, doth, ought, manifold, persever. Those are archaic words to, for example, to express what now we know as you, your, the present of do, anything, manifold is abundance, and persevere. Persevere it's an earlier spelling for the word persevere, but in that time they used to pronounce it as persevere, not persevere. That's why I say persevere. Okay, so pay attention to this.
And why did she have this kind of archaic English? Why?
Because it was 1630, and in that time they just have that English, the linguistics English in that time. So that's as we know, language is always changing. So now in the changes, it's like we talk in this way now, but in that time they talk in that way, and they wrote in that way also.
Because it was an ancient English that came from England. One of the main facts that we need to know about Bradstreet is that she was considered as an American poet because she got her production there. But she came from England, and that's why you will find so many terms related to that kind of English. Those terms, I think that you must study them with your teacher in British literature. So you will find different poems and texts that you will find them there. Okay, let's continue.
Continue. Now that we understand the poem, let's go to main topics. The main topics here are three: the love, the marriage, and death. Why the love? Because in the poem she expressed that she has a lot of love for her husband. Her love is unconditional, it's unstoppable, and undying. It's not only her love for him, it's his love for her. They have mutual love. It's not just an obligation to her to love her husband. It was something mutual. That's what the love is all around upon. The marriage, it described the perfect union. Why the perfect union? As I said, it was mutual. It was a pair, two people loving each other. And they were married because they loved. Not because they were supposed to be married and have children and don't love each other. Just whatever you want to do with your husband. And death. Why death? It is not really describing death in the poem, but at the end of the two lines, it says that they will live ever if they continue loving each other, because their love is going to be beyond death. Next. Summary.
Okay, we have a summary of this poem, which it shows that Anne speaks about the love she had for her husband. She felt so loved that she believed that if she were one with someone, she will be just one with her husband. She also makes a reference to the love they feel for each other. As my friend said, he is a very lucky man, and how happy she is to be married with him. And also makes a kind of challenge in the part that she said, compare with me, you woman, if you can. She said that she's like trying to give a challenge to other women, saying that there is no other love that she has with her husband, that they cannot find it. So compare with me if you can find another love like I have it with my husband. So to her, the love for her husband is invaluable, and she prizes like a treasure because it's worth it more than the gold, and even a river cannot stop. So she tells her husband to persevere in their love so it will live on. So that's what my friend explained about the topic of the poem.
Now we go to the analysis of the poem. We saw that, so I know you understand the terms. Iambic. Oh my God. Ay, sí, se apagó la computadora, dime que no.
So by the way, it's really important to know
She was listening. Oh my God.
So, what's going on? She came from England, and when she arrived to America, she didn't know what to expect. It was a newborn, it was a new country without any kind of facilities for living, with this role of women in detriment, because at that time, as you were listening to your partners, women were not allowed to study, to go to schools, so she had the opportunity because of her father. Yeah. And after that, after her preparation, she started writing, but without this kind of prohibition, with this prohibition. So it was really difficult for her to go to a new country, to start writing, trying to expose her feelings, because she was against the stereotype from the common women. Yeah, she was against to the role play for cooking or washing or raising children, even though she had 8 children. So can you imagine that? So it's like a kind of contradiction. Yeah, she had a very large family with so many tasks or housework to do, but on the other hand, she was trying to defend this role for women, and which is really difficult to imagine at that time, because you know that nowadays we're still having problems with this kind of things, because most of the time that this is like a stereotype, men think that they are superior from women. Yeah, but it's our society in general. I think that Latin America has this very strong idea, but we need to be, or we need to work in an equal way, because we all have the same abilities, we all have the same capacities for working on, for studying, for doing what we do, trying to do our best, even if we are men or women. Okay, so let's continue.
Okay, as I was saying, this is the analysis. The poem is written in iambic pentameter. What does it mean? That each line has 5 ions. What is an ion? It is a short syllable. This is the short syllable, followed by a longest one, but no in written way. It's the short and long way in speaking. For example, we have if ever. You see the intonation, it goes up and then goes down. So the iambic pentameter is like the heartbeat. Da boom, da boom, da boom. 5, it's like 5 heartbeats. Da boom, da boom, da boom, da boom, da boom. That's why it's pentameter, because it's 5, like 5 syllables, but it is not 5 syllables. In every line, it is in the same way. Okay, for example, this one, it says, compare with me, dear woman, if you can. The sound goes down and up, like a wave. Okay, next please. It is rhyming couplets. What is rhyming couplets? It is because the lines are in 2 pairs of rhymes. As you see, A, B, A, B, B, C, C, D, D, E, E, F, F. They are followed because the end of each line have the same sound. Okay, the anaphor here we can notice right at the time the 3 first one. If ever, if ever, if ever. It helps the reader to understand that the couple, in this case, Anne and Simon, it helps to the reader to understand that love can have no comparison. That love can be mutual. Okay. The personification in the 5th line. Yes, sixth, sorry. The east. The east is a region. Okay, it's a region. It's a thing, or a region. So it doesn't really can hold anything because it is a thing. Things cannot hold things, right? So this line expresses the personification of the East. Does it mean that wealth, the richest part of the country? Not even the richest part of the country can compare the love she has for her husband. Next. The metaphor in these three lines: give recompense, no way repay and reward. It helps us to understand that for her, her love is like a transaction. Yeah, that a transaction in the way that she gives love and she receives love back. That is the metaphor she wants to give to the reader.
Another metaphor that we will find there is the one related to the mines of gold, where she's comparing her love with the mines of gold. Okay? Yeah, by the way, the other ones that were represented by your partners. Next.
There. Then while we live in love, let's so persevere. Here we got an alliteration. Alliteration is the repetition of what? A consonant. Okay. So the consonant here is the L. Live, love, let's. Live, love, let's. It gives us a lyric sound. It's a lyric effect, in fact. Next. Okay, and this is our mind map. There is the setting. In 1630, it was New England because she was there. Because she first arrived. In 1631, it was the Watertown protest. She wasn't writing there yet, but that was happening when she was in New England. And then Thomas Dudley, it was her father, so it has a lot of things to do with her. And my partner said that they continue moving a lot. Yeah. Why they continue moving? Because she lived with her father and her mother, and the whole family lived together. So if he has to move, they move together. That's why they keep moving in all of the Bay Colony, Massachusetts Bay Colony. That's why they said on Cambridge